Hello,
Hello,
everybody.
we live?
Yes.
Oh, you have to give us the countdown so we can say hey to the people. Hey y'all, look at all of the people coming in. Welcome to Live with
Hey,
Ashanti. Y'all, look who is in here with us. Look at this beautiful black excellence that we
Yes.
got going up in today. Guys, give it up
aw,
for Miss
thank
Douglas
you.
joining us. We are
Thank you
so excited
guys.
to thank you, Ashanti. We got something super dope to talk about today, so we want to
Mhm.
thank everybody for joining us. We want to do a little housekeeping, let you all know that we are going to answer your questions a little bit towards the end. We're
Mhm.
going to have a good conversation today. Please be respectable and please understand that we are coming from a place of love and light, and we are super excited about having these women on this platform today. I want Miss Ted to introduce herself so you can know who your moderators are for the show.
Yes, of course. It is an honor to be here with you, Ashanti. You're so pretty. And of
Thank
course,
you.
my girl in Houston, Raven. It is an honor to be here with you as well. So I am Tia Ackermore. I am one half of More Books. We're currently online. We originated out of the Chicago, Illinois area, but we're everywhere. So we're online, and we're glad that I see a couple of our supporters on here tonight. So they either love me or they love Ashanti.
I love them too.
Well, that's the dope too. I mean, consider I am from Chicago, Illinois, born and raised, but I
Mhm.
have one of the largest bookstores right now here in Chicago. I'm sorry, here in Houston, Texas. Actually, it's a suburb of Houston called Katy, Texas. We are Brown Sugar Cafe and Books. If you guys are joining us in support of Brown Sugar Cafe and Books and More Bookstore, please let us know. But on today, guys, we have Miss Ashanti joining us, Grammy Award-winning songwriter, actress, philanthropist, and now
Mhm.
actor. I'm sorry, and now let me make sure that I'm saying this, author. We are so excited about having your new book with us, and we have so much to talk about because this is a conversation that needs to be held, and we are doing bold things in this season with bold, beautiful people. So, what better than to start off with you? Again, guys, my name is Raven White. I'm the proprietress of Brown Sugar Cafe and Books right out here in Katy, Texas. We're going to go ahead and get into it. Guys, we want to know. The book is called My Name is a Story. It's your debut picture book, and
Mhm.
congratulations about it. We want to know what inspired you to actually write this book, Ashanti.
Well, first I gotta say thank y'all so much for having me. It feels good to feel like I'm home with my black
Mhm.
girlfriends. You know what I mean? We're celebrating just being beautiful and moving forward and women empowerment. So I
Mhm.
I want to say everyone is beautiful. I was a little stuff going on in the background when we were first getting on, but I just want to say hey. But what inspired me to write the book? I used to work at a daycare center when I was younger. And
Mhm.
like when the kids, when they have recess or playtime, they're jumping around and there's a lot going on. And it was always so captivating to me how when it was story time, I would sit down, open up a book, the kids would be sitting down, and they would just be so intrigued and captivated by a
Mhm.
story. And for me, I would just be like, wow, this is amazing to see how powerful it is to read a story to a child. So I always said, I love that. I love the feeling. And I always had it in the back of my mind, like, I kind of want to write a children's book when I get older. I had no idea that I would be here
Mhm.
today and be able to be in a position to do something so special. But that's where it came from. And I'm just super grateful and super excited, because I feel like the book resonates so much with us in our culture and so many
Mhm.
different cultures, so many
Mhm.
different walks of life. So I'm very, very excited.
Mhm.
Well, you should be excited because it's something to say when a lot of people have found success in other areas of their life. They don't tend to like go off into something different unless it's truly their passion. Because you are
Hmm.
very successful in your own right. You inspire a lot of people already. And so
Right.
you didn't have to do this. So knowing that this is a true passion, if I have a granddaughter who's 4 years old. And I know
Oh.
and she has a cute little name too. And I would love for her. You know, we love representation. That's what really truly matters. And we can talk about that all day long. So Ashanti, was there any one person in particular that may have kind of nudged you into really writing this and getting this out there?
I mean, I will say just I have an amazing team. I gotta give a super shout out to one of my attorneys, Stefan Dweck,
Mhm.
my mom, Kirby, Michelle. Like we all collectively have conversations weekly just about what I'm doing in my career.
Mhm.
And this opportunity came, and everyone was kind of like, this would be a really, really beautiful thing to do. And I've always had this story because my name is so different, growing up in a very diverse high school, but only one person named Ashanti. You know what I mean? Sometimes just being younger, when it came time for the teacher to pronounce my name, it was always a hesitance, like,
Mhm.
what? You know what I mean? And I just remember that feeling. And I always wanted people to embrace, just their uniqueness and celebrate the fact that your name is different. And there were trying times, growing up when my mom used to go and get like school supplies, you would see like Sarah,
Right.
Jessica, Lisa. You're not gonna find Ashanti, so my stuff would be custom, you know what I mean? So that feeling, I always wanted to just encourage kids to embrace that and feel celebrated as opposed to feeling insecure, as opposed to feeling like sad for being different or having a unique name that isn't like anyone else's. You know what I mean? So it came from such a real place. And I feel like so many people relate, again, especially with us, there's so many people that can relate to it. And that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to do it.
It's
Yes.
so powerful that you said that. I'm sorry, Raven. It's so powerful that you said that because I used to be an educator and I used to read the names. And prior to reading your book, I had a whole bias about names. Like, why would you name this child this? I'm struggling, they struggling, the red, blue only goes so far. But after reading your book, I had a new perspective on why people do the things that they do and why people read the name. I really wish it's been years since I taught some of those kids, but I really wish I could find them and apologize for butchering their names and for
Oh,
having that little sense of ugh, why did you do that? Because in reading your book, it made a lot of sense. You explained it. So I wanted to know, besides my takeaway as a former educator, what is the takeaway that you want anyone, whether they're in education or not, to take away from this book?
well, first of all, I appreciate you so much for even saying that. That's huge. And your takeaway is definitely my takeaway. And in addition to that, for those kids that don't have different names, be a little bit more open minded to it. Just because it doesn't sound familiar to you, don't be so judgmental. You know what I'm saying? You should kind of embrace the fact that, okay, this person's name is different. It doesn't sound like mine, but
Mhm.
that's okay. You know what I mean? So even if you have a name that's a little more familiar and a little more common, don't make
Mhm.
fun of someone else just because their name isn't. And maybe you look at it different, like there's a story behind that. Maybe that person's mom and dad had a deep conversation, and whatever joy that child brought to them, that's what they named their kid after. You know what I mean? So I want people to take away, again, just being more open-minded, not being
Mhm.
so judgmental, and let's celebrate being unique and being different. You know what I'm saying? Not always, you know, shying away or feeling embarrassed because it's just not normal, and not expected. You know what I'm saying? Let's embrace learning about other cultures and learning about the meanings. There are meanings and names that mean like sunlight or of God, or in different languages and stuff like that. So I feel like it's so important for us to just stay open-minded and understand that just because we're not familiar, that doesn't mean judge it and walk
Right.
away with an awkward taste in our mouths. You know what I mean?
That's
Absolutely.
that's
I couldn't agree with you more about that. And speaking about names. If you guys are watching and you're paying attention to this, and you have a beautifully unique name, go ahead and drop it in the comments. We want to see those names. And while we're asking Ashanti, does your name have a meaning? Is there a meaning? Did your parents tell you a story behind why they named you that? You guys go ahead and drop your beautiful names in there and what your name may mean as well.
Yes, my name definitely has meaning. And you know what's super cool? My name has different meanings in like different languages, which is crazy. So it originates from Ghana. And you know how like a lot of the times in foreign countries, the women are kind of considered low on the totem pole. But in Ghana, you have the Ashanti people, and this is a tribe of people where like the women run things. You know what I mean? So it's like a very powerful meaning. It means woman of strength. So there can be Ashanti men that come from this tribe, but the women we kind of run things. You know what I mean? So it means woman of strength. And I was taught very early on that my name was powerful and it had such powerful meaning. And this is why I would always correct someone if they mispronounced my name. You know, I was taught very early to correct someone to make sure, you know,
right.
Yeah, get it right.
Right.
I'm not here to make
Get it right.
you pronounce
Don't
my
let it
name
slide.
right.
Don't let it slide. Make correct them. What you think, Sam?
And that's what I want people to take away from the book as well. You know, don't feel like you shorten your name or make a nickname for yourself just because someone else can't pronounce it correctly. You know what I mean? Oh, right down here, maybe. What's that? I'm just trying to find. Oh, there it is. I was trying to find the comments. Hey.
Yeah, so you can see some of those people names, girl. You see those names over in there.
Hey.
I see Alyssa. Okay. Jamaica. Yes.
It says island in the Caribbean. Yes. See what I'm saying? That's beautiful. I want to make sure I pronounced it right, though.
Yeah.
Oh, they said Momaja was on it. Shaquem, Alyssa, I love it. After my late daddy Earl. See, I love these.
Yes, and guess what? And representation matters. And a reason why I opened this bookstore where I did is because the literacy rates in our Black and Brown community, we have some of the lower literacy rates, and I believe that is because we don't see clear representations of ourselves. A lot of times we're looking at their image, we're looking at our skin color, we're looking at things like that, but names are just important. It's as important to see a Mary as it is an Ashanti. It's just important to see, you know, a Tiffany as it is a Keisha. Those are, when you are seeing those different names in our historical fiction or in our science or in these books, that does make a child more interested in reading and getting to know that story as well. So, Ashanti, I hadn't thought about that until I got a chance again to look at your book. That not only does our images, our powerful, beautiful images matter, what they call us, what we go by, matters as well. And you said do not shorten it up. We don't gotta get get it right the first time.
Get it right. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. It's so funny you mentioned that because my stylist niece, I think she's 4, and he got her a book. And when he showed her the cover, the first thing she said was, "Oh, that's me, Uncle," you know? And he was like, "No, that's not you. Look again." And she was like, "No, that's me." He said, "No, that's Ashanti." And she was like, "No, that's me. Look at my ponytails." So I love the fact that she identified so much, you know what I mean? And that was like a beautiful thing for me to see and to hear. And that's what I want to bring to, you know, to the world with this.
That's what you're bringing. And that's actually a picture of you on the cover of the book, a representation of you when you were a little girl, right?
Yes. And you know what's so scary? So I got to give a shout out to Monica, the illustrator. When I saw the first drafts of the book and I saw the final, I was just like, oh my gosh, did she see like my 5th grade picture? Because it was so almost identical. I posted on my Instagram like a side by side, and I was like, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, I feel like I'm looking at my little picture. So, oh wait, hold on. My mom just pulled it up on the
That's
phone.
right.
My mom in the background. Oh, it's so
Isn't that
cute.
crazy?
Oh my
I was
goodness,
in
that is
pre-K, so when
cute.
I saw it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, she got the eyebrows, she got the baby hair."
I know. Look at
So,
little Ashanti. Oh my God. You know what? That is I think that is so dope. And you know what? A lot of times people are looking at you like you are an influence and you have influenced people to move from being an actress, a songwriter, and just all of these amazing things. But what about you, Ashanti? Who are some of your influences? Who are some people that have influenced you, whether famous and successful, or some people that are just your family members or friends? Who are some of your biggest influencers?
to be honest with you, I'm super super blessed and very lucky to come from an amazing family. I have like a village around me. So from my mom to my aunties, my grandmothers, God rest their souls. Even the guys in my family. My parents been married 40 plus years. Like I look up to those who have helped raise me and help shape me, and remain to keep me humble. You know what I'm saying? I woke up to my parents going to work every day, and that's inspiration for me, and just having a loving household and a stable household, unfortunately, that's rare. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I feel like just, I look up and I have for so long to the strong people in my family that allowed us to live and do what we do, and dream big. You know what I'm saying? And continue to motivate and encourage us. When I say us, me and my sister, to just be the best versions of ourselves.
That's dope. And a lot of people don't realize that the influences are right around them. They're right
Hmm.
around them. And that's another thing that we want you to take away from this and this book and this story is that your influence can come from that little girl with the big name. Your influence can come from the parents who decided to name that name because the stories are so deep behind a lot of these names. And my name is Raven. It's not. I used to think that it was a unique name until I start to hear some of these other names, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, here we go. And I just think that is dope, and we're far beyond that age where we're making fun of people for their names, but now we
Right.
need to be empowering our babies. We need to let them know to stand on it, and we did it. We can't say that our parents made a bad decision about the name that they. That's a disrespect to your parent being
Right.
ashamed
Yeah.
of the name. And we may be hurting their feelings every time we shorten it or, just try and use
Hmm.
our middle name. And we want our kids to be proud and stand strong. And I think a lot of kids, after reading this book, is just going to be like, yes, that's my name. And like, take it. It's a beautiful
Exactly.
thing.
That's what I want. I want them to feel empowered. I want them to feel motivated and to feel like this is where it's at. I'm celebrating this. You know what I mean? I like the fact that you can't just go pick my name up off the shelf. I
Yes,
like the fact that, you
custom.
know, you have to make it custom for me.
It's
I love
custom, baby. It's
that.
custom. You got to get this. You got to go and pay extra to get this. I ain't doing it. We don't got no come. No, nothing wrong with the common names, but do you see how that sounds? How cliche
Absolutely.
that sounds? Nothing wrong with the common names, but baby, this is
Oh.
custom over here. um, what you got going next? So we know. So this is a book. It makes sense because you have such a unique name, and we know that your mom instilled this in you. But do you got any more kiddo books in you? Can we expect any other different writings from you anytime soon?
You know what? I gotta see. Again, I'm so grateful and I'm super excited about how well it's resonating, with the people. And I feel like whatever it is, the next project, I want it to be just as special. I don't want to just do something just because. You know what I mean? I want it to
Yeah.
have, and I want it to hold weight as well. So, I think we gotta see. We gotta see.
Okay.
I
Well,
do like it. I must say, I love the
mhm.
effects.
I think I can appreciate what you're saying because a lot of times in industries, people are, you kind of feel forced to do the next thing just to get it out there. And I like the
Right.
fact that you really want to be sure about the message that you're sending to people, especially if you're putting in something as delicate as children's hands. So that definitely
Yeah.
does matter. But for now, we want the world to pick up this book. If you are educated, we got a lot of educators on here. If you're an educator on here, go ahead and drop that in there. We want you guys to bring these kids, bring this book to your school again because representation matters. This is a book that should be in your school's library, okay?
Yes.
Because again, just like that story you said with the niece looking at the book, the same exact thing
Hmm.
happened with my granddaughter. She said, "Is this me?" You know, and she was so serious. The two little puffs on the side of her head, and that's when I knew that building a bookstore that looks with images like me was super important because of babies like that that are going to want to read Ashanti. Kids are going to want to read that book. They're going to be going
Yeah.
from YouTube to the book talking about Ashanti. I was checking. My name is custom and say it right the first time. Hey, where you at now?
Exactly.
I know you had a couple questions that you wanted to ask before we pull a couple questions from the audience. Hey, audience, y'all following us? Y'all better be following Ashanti's official Brown Sugar Cafe and books and more books because we're working hard to bring really great curated events to you guys. People like Ashanti, again, like people who have already, made it, who have reached a certain level of success. We know that her writing this book is strictly from a place of passion and from a place of need. Ashanti, I think, is so, again, I can't say how dope it is because you are going to give some kids the voices who have been quieted strictly because their name alone. You know,
Hmm.
you going now you're gonna get some babies named Ashanti too. You know what's gonna happen.
Oh my
You
gosh,
know what's gonna happen.
that's so crazy to me. You know, I have met a few people that have said they've named their kids after me, and that's just a beautiful, beautiful thing, So I just hope to continue to just inspire people to just embrace it, you know what I mean? And just celebrate
Yeah,
because we're living in such a crazy time in this world, still dealing with the pandemic. And I've seen the effects, that it's had on kids. And do you remember the pictures that we would see, like of little kids in like bubbles or like little boxes, and you can't touch and you can't hug and you can't,
yeah.
like when the
Mhm.
pandemic was really crazy? It's just like it's a lot. It's a lot for an adult. So I can only imagine for a child. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to put something out there in love and light and to help kids just lift their morale and celebrate,
And you did that, and not only for kids, Ashanti, it's so many people our age too that probably is just now getting this message and just now saying, you know what, it's okay, and it's all right, and feeling good about their name because this isn't something that's in every textbook. This isn't something that's being spoken about. A lot
Right.
of times when we're referring to people, we're using synonyms like Dick and Jane and very basic names, but guys, start using those bigger names when we are, talking to our kids or talking around our kids. Start being bold with these names, and then make sure that these kids know what their name means. Like you
Hmm.
said, that's another powerful thing. Knowing the meaning behind your name, knowing that story behind your name, could definitely send a super positive child confident out into the world because let's just be very transparent here. There are some kids who you hear the conversation, I hate my name. I don't like my name. Why did, she or he name me this? But if you're
Yeah,
on this live and you know that that's your child, get this book. Let them know that
absolutely.
representation does matter. And we have people like Ashanti that cares enough about it that she put it in a book for millions of people to see, even being vulnerable with yourself,
Hmm.
with your name out there. Because when you did come out, it was different. Like we hadn't heard of anyone kind of by your name. Everybody, we had Mary J. Blige, we had Keisha Cole, their names were super easy to say. But
Hmm.
I will say you coming out with Ashanti and just straight only Ashanti was fire, girl.
Thank you.
That was fire. And speaking of fire, you like kind of you gave us a snippet of something just recently, and we want to know, like, besides this, girl, what else you got going on? What do we have coming up next from you? When is
So
it gonna
I'm
be?
super excited about the new record. It's called Falling for You. I performed a snippet of it on GMA. Was that a week ago? About 2 weeks ago. So excited. I can't wait for y'all to hear it. Called Falling for You, written by Blue and myself, produced by Blue. And it's just that signature Ashanti vibe with like a 2022 Sonic sauce on it. You know,
Good music. We're bringing good music back.
yeah, like I like to feel the people. I like to feel relatable. I like to feel like, you know, we're all going through an experience. You know, sometimes we go through the same things, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what's important, you know? So I want to put music out that people could feel like, oh, this is what I'm feeling right now. You know,
I can relate to it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's dope. And I think you kind of did that with that book too. You put out very relatable music.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw it, I was like, okay, this is fire, because we are asking for real R&B to come back. We are, you know, begging for the queens to come on and do what it is that y'all do. So you kind of putting that out there. So again, when did you say you may be releasing that?
I want to say within the next 2 weeks. It'll definitely be sometime this month. I'm just making everything perfect. You know what I mean? I want it to be perfect. And the fact that, like, I own my record label and, you know, I own what I'm doing. I'm very hands-on. So I want it to be right. I want it to be perfect. You know what I mean? And you know, we're a family right here. This is the team.
Yes.
You know, it's not a huge engine that's doing everything for me. You know, I'm here doing it myself, you know, as an independent artist. So yeah, I just want it to be right.
Okay, well, we keep hearing that from you, and again, we're waiting, y'all. Y'all be on the lookout for new music, new books, new best
Oh wait,
friends.
somebody just said,
Did you hear that?
the
New
month
best
has
friend.
a week left. I'm gonna knock you out. Who is that?
Oh my goodness!
You said this. Okay, well, in August.
In August, okay.
You see how he tried to come for me?
So people want to know, like, your fans are on here, and they not playing with you, Ashanti. They like, look, girl,
I'm gonna have to go
don't
live
do
in a
Rihanna on
second.
us. Yeah, don't do Rihanna on us. And let me tell you something. Listen, Ashanti, you was just in Chicago at the Summer Fest, honey.
Oh yeah,
Doing the damn thing.
Hey,
Yes, girl, it was beautiful, wasn't it? I got to see it from here in Houston, Texas. Again, I'm born and raised in Chicago, and so it was really an honor to have. So you've like just been in our energy, and we want to keep that going. You got to make sure now when you come to Houston, Texas, that you are going to come to Brown Sugar Cafe and Books. You're going to sign the books for the people.
You already know it.
And
you already. First of all, I love the name. I love the name. It's so dope. I love the name. And of course, when I come out there, we definitely gonna set something up super special. Cause you know I gotta touch the people. You know what I mean?
You gotta touch the people. Because listen, the people touch the other people, and that's just how we have to do this thing. And again, I am part of the Black Bookstore Collective, guys. It is super important that you support independent bookstores, independent platforms like mine and more books, that you support Black authors like Ashanti. It is super important that we make these marks so that more authors will be comfortable putting out content about representation in beautiful little girls and little boys' names. Ashanti is paving the way for other authors to be comfortable with having this type of conversation. As another thing, I want you to know that We appreciate that you are not only are you what you're doing is confidence that you're giving kids, you are opening the door and paving the way for authors to come behind you and be bold enough to stand up and represent for our culture as well. So thank you so much, Ms. Douglas, for that alone.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. I applaud you for creating and having your bookstore and having a platform that welcomes us, and celebrates us, because sometimes we don't get celebrated. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, just paving the way and making other people feel comfortable. I give you your flowers too, and thank you for having a place for me to put my little book.
Absolutely, girl. We got them stacked up high, okay? Listen. And you know what you say, it matters, honey. It matters. So as long as we continue to support each other and truly support each other, I'm not talking about leaving this live and it is what it is. We got your back. We support your message. We support your love and light, and that's all that you've given it to us in your non-problematic career. We appreciate that. And that's why, me and Tia, we were raising our hands like, of course we want to host Ashanti. Like, are you kidding? Like, of course. This platform is amazing. Actually, I want you to come back on the screen, Tia, if you are there, because we are getting ready to wrap up, and we want to make sure that you get all of the questions, and we want to make sure we're going to be getting some pre-orders for our bookstore too as well. We're going to be putting the link down there. But we want to make sure that we're getting all of our questions. Ashanti, did you see some questions in the chat, girl?
You know what? I just saw from Tony that says, Ashanti, would you write a book about your grandfather? He's such a great man. Oh, you know what? I would love to do something regarding my grandfather. I spoke to a couple of people, and I think that so many of his ways and his passion and his movement, he has instilled in my mom, my aunt, my cousins, myself, my sister. My grandfather was my best friend. We used to live with my grandpa when I was small. So I would love to write something about my grandfather, or even he needs like a little movie or something. He needs like a Lifetime vibe or something, because my grandfather is like phenomenal. He helped to integrate the police station, the firehouse, the schools in Glen Cove. He ran for the NAACP. He marched with Martin Luther King. Like, my grandfather's a beast. You know what I'm saying? And there's actually a street named after him in Glen Cove where I grew up. So thank you, Tony. That was a super dope question. But it's something that has definitely been in the back of my head. And I think I'm really grateful. Again, like I said, I think my grandfather's will and just, what's in his heart and his soul has definitely trickled down a little bit, just to be a person that has paved the way and has made such major changes in society, especially where I come from. So shout out to my grandpa.
What's up, Papa? Oh my God. Somebody wants to know, why are you so fine, girl?
Oh, well, thank you.
They said,
drink water and coconut water.
She minded her business over here too. That's another big part of looking good, honey. Let me see what else do we have. Somebody is asking about a BIPOC. Thinking about writing something about Ashanti, or you got a little bit more you want to experience first? What you thinking?
I'm definitely working on a documentary. I feel like right now in my career, just celebrating 20 years and being where I am, is such a blessing. It's such an amazing feeling. So we're definitely putting that together. I wanted to kind of capture all of this and get these moments to be able to put it in the documentary. You know what I mean? The fact that I got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, like I'm still kind of like, I can't believe it, Yeah. So
yeah,
I want to be able to.
Did you say 20 years?
20 years, isn't that crazy? She said no. My album came out April 2nd, 2002. That's 20 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's
for that
thank
star.
you.
And do it. listen, do it. I don't know if you got a chance to watch like Jennifer Lopez. She has one on Netflix, and I caught it for the first time, and I was like, this is amazing. Everybody should do this, and especially because I wouldn't look at you and think you had 20 years of history behind you, that you've been influencing the music industry, and now as an author, you still seem so fresh and so brand new to us, like a shiny new penny, honey. That water, the coconut
Look,
water,
brown
your business,
copper penny.
all of that looking good, looking like brown sugar, honey. It matters, and we want definitely do that stuff. You don't have to wait until you get 60 years old to
Yeah.
start to do that type of stuff. We want to see that from you. You're someone we want to continue to support. We want to continue to see your career grow and go to the next level. I know we're getting ready to wrap up, so I got a couple more questions. And this one might seem a little, I don't know, but let's see. We like to ask, celebrities these type of questions. If there is anything in the world right now that you could have, that you don't have currently, what would that be? As big or as small, whatever it is, if there is something that you could just have, what would that be?
Something that I could have. That's a tough one. I would say, all right, two things. I would say the ability to stop time. Because sometimes I need a couple more hours.
Need a minute. You see how we was trying to get together on this thing, girl? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Like, what's happening?
Oh
I
my
understand.
gosh. So I would
I
definitely
understand. And it
want
feels
that.
like we lost a couple years with the pandemic too. Sometime we can get back, but I'm with you right now. If I could have anything, it would be an Italian beef sandwich from Portillo's in Chicago. I'm hungry. It's my favorite.
She said,
But
I'm hungry.
I said it could be as simple or as big as you want, but but I know you had a full day. You came right off another interview, sharing a platform as well. So you're doing your job, sis. Okay, this
Thank
isn't a
you.
fly by kind of let me just drop this off and keep on business. We are watching you work. Know that, and we
Yeah.
want you to continue to let people know that they can get your books from Black-owned bookstores because we
Absolutely.
have a stake in your success. We truly care about, what's in your stories. And the Black Bookstore Collective, I want to give a shout out to you guys for even working with HarperCollins Children. Thank you, HarperCollins, for entrusting the Black Bookstore Collective to hold this amazing interview with Ashanti. And we hope that you continue to put more amazing talent here with us because what we share here, it goes out to hundreds and thousands of people who also want to support Black stories, Black authors, and Black bookstores alike. So thank you to HarperCollins, to the Black Bookstore Collective, to More Books, and to Miss Ashanti Douglas. Thank you for taking the time out with us on this evening. And we are going to make sure to continue to spread the word. We want you, we want you to leave us with now, I don't know if Ted is coming back on the screen, girl, because we want you back up here. You representing the Georgia, the southern half, and I know you had a couple more questions, but like Ashanti said, we can stop time because we got a couple technical difficulties, but I feel like we did let our audience know overall, who you are and what your mission is, and if you could, just let them know overall, basically what you want to do with this book, how they can support you, and what you're looking for the communities as well.
Again, I'm just grateful for the support. I'm grateful for the opportunity to put such a special book together and give it to the public and to help encourage and motivate kids with unique names to be celebrated and to feel empowered, and to feel special. That's really, really, really important again in our community. I'm glad again, that it's resonating so well with so many different cultures. You know what I mean? Um, and yeah, it's important. I think that even though I don't have kids, I love kids. Kids love me, which is crazy. Like little kids come up to me in the airport, they don't even know me. They'll just start hugging me. I love
Auntie,
kids.
you
But,
auntie.
right. So I just feel like it's special to have the opportunity to do something to allow a child to feel good and feel better about themselves. So I want this book to be that staple in our community, to for people to go back and reference and say, this is why you're beautiful, and this is why you're great, and this is why you correct somebody when your name is pronounced the wrong way. You know what I mean? I want them to feel like, yeah, yeah, my name isn't Beth or Sarah. It's, you know what I mean? And it's not to say Beth or Sarah's name is not as special or not important, but it's just to say, respect the fact that mine is different and let's embrace it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what I want to walk away with. That's what I want to bring, bring again to our community, to our people, and to kids. Just the story that you told about your granddaughter, and the one that I told about my stylist's niece, that hits home, for me. So I love it. Love that.
And we love it too, and we know that it's going to resonate with a lot of people. Guys, this amazing book can be found on all platforms across the globe, against the World Wide Web, on Ashanti's website. And we know that you can find them at Brown Sugar Cafe and Books, More Books, and other Black-owned bookstores. We got it stocked up. We got it. Look, pre-order it, get your copies now, get ready for, kids are going back to school. Again, my educators
Mhm.
that are on here, get this book in your libraries. I guarantee you'll see a difference in the literacy rates of your little ones, because they're going to want two things. They want to continue to say their name over and over again, and y'all going to have to get these babies' names right, okay? Y'all gonna have to get them right this school year, because Ashanti didn't already been told the kids what it is. So now they like, get these babies' names right, but get them in the schools so that they can feel confident and proud. And who wouldn't want to read more? Once you see that
Right.
and you get that thing, inside of you, like, man, I look this way, and there are people that look like me, and there are people who have names like me, and they're in the book, and
Mhm.
people are so passionate that they're taken away from their music career, from their families, to say, I got to get this out. This is important. This is important for me to share. I have to get this out. That is super dope. So thank you. We're not going to keep you too much longer. We appreciate you for jumping on this live with us. And guys,
Of
and make sure you
course.
are following Ashanti, because she has so much more than this book going on with her, so much more. And we are looking forward to everything that you have dropping. And best believe we got your back, and we're going to be supporting you. And guys, this is, again, Raven Rose White with Brown Sugar Cafe and Books, represent Harper Collins Kids, and also the Black Bookstore Collective. Thank you, Mr. Shanti. We love
Thank
you.
you guys so much. I love y'all
Until
too.
next
Thank you to Barbara.
time.
And yes, and when I get down to Houston, let's make sure we connect and do something special.
It's a done deal. I'm looking forward. We're going to be walking all through this place when you get here.
And